Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Bestech Senu, I'm not actually sure how to pronounce it, a Grzegorz Grabarski design. I know that I did not. I know I butchered his name. I'm that's a very difficult name to pronounce. I'm sorry about that. But this is the designer, that works with Bestech, and every time one of his knives comes up, it's always interesting to take a look at because his designs tend to be, in my opinion, far more interesting than a lot of the other stuff that is not all Bestech collabs, but the ones that are Bestech branded. Right? We have lots of different people who use them as an OEM, but when they use the Bestech brand first and then it's designed by this person, right, amongst knives like that, his designs tend to be the most interesting. This is also in S90V, which is not typical of, at least from my perspective. They don't use it nearly as much as they use M390. So there's some interesting things happening here, and the base price of it, I think, is fairly reasonable for what you're getting. I will link it down in the description. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Thanks to Bestech for sending it in. And make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and measure it. Overall length is just shy of 8. It's like 7.9. Blade length, I'm going to say 3.5. Cutting edge, about 3.35. Let's do some size comparisons. Any custom scales you find in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and others. Up against my full-size Excalibur and my compact, this guy pretty much comes in exactly in between. Even has a somewhat similar shape. It's not doing the same thing at all. It's just got a somewhat similar shape, which is understandable considering the knife that I designed is about as classic a profile as it gets for a knife. Up against the PM2 and Para 3, kind of, again, like maybe a little closer to the size of the PM2. And then finally, we'll put it up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue, and the Hogue Deca. How's the action? The action on this one in particular is very, very nice. Bestech in the past has been good, but not amongst the greatest when it comes to, they're par for the course is what I'm saying. Like exactly what you'd expect from a, premium Chinese knife running on bearings. They've gotten better and better and better, and now I think their action is up there amongst some of the better ones, and this is a great example of that. This really feels like one step up on smoothness versus what I typically expect from, let's say, Artisan Cutlery, Kaiser, right? They're good, they're fine. They're kind of what I expect. It needs to be right there. That's the bar. This feels like a step up. Access to the lock bar is super cozy. It's very controlled fall shut action, which I like. Give you time to move your finger out of the way. If you catch this flipper tab immediately underneath, you have right there. Here's where the detent ball touches. It's not quite to my thumb yet. Now it's up on the face of the blade, and you can turn it there. So it's very close to double clutch, but it does not have double clutch. You can also just, because of how controlled the action is, you can also just keep your finger back away from that flipper tab as it comes around and then just move it and turn it, right? This is also a front flipper, which works really well. And you can use the little hole there, but there's not enough room and the detent's heavy enough that it's kind of difficult to get the appropriate amount of leverage. But you can do it, right? Access to that lock bar, really nice, very nicely cut out. I really like that. So yeah, action's very good, no complaints. Carry profile, thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. It's a little thicker, right? It's not scales on top. I mean, like it's nested into the titanium, but the titanium is not super thick, but it's contoured and there's a lot of it, right? So it's a little bit thicker than the Para 3. Length and height up against the PM2 and Para 3. You can see from this perspective, there it is. From this perspective, it really doesn't take up an enormous amount of room in your pocket, and largely my experience with it was exactly that. It doesn't take up a huge amount of room. Materials. In this case, we have some gold shred carbon fiber, gold anno, and we have a hand-rubbed satin finish S90V blade. You can also get it with Ultim. The least expensive version of this is with an Ultim inlay and titanium. The best priced version of it is the standard titanium with the standard shred carbon fiber, which is a little more, but I think that one really nails it, right? This guy is actually one of the highest. It might actually be the most expensive version of it, minus if they did a Damasteel version. Let's go ahead and do a hardware. Actually, we were going to weigh it. So is there milling for weight reduction? I think there is a little bit. There's a couple of pockets in there. I'm going to guess this knife weighs in the high 3s, perhaps the low 4s. Let's find out. Yeah, 3.8. Not bad for having a 3.5-inch blade. Let's do a hardware check. I'll get out my tools. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel. T8 for the pivot. We have T8 for the body screw, and then this also probably goes through to the pocket clip. So really just 3 screws for disassembly, and then the pivot. That's pretty nice, and they're all T8. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Blade stock thickness, that looks like it might be on the thicker side. Where's the flat? Right here. 140, 135. I'm wrong. It's only 127. I got it on the flat. I'm going to get it back here. This is absolutely going to be the thickest part of the blade. Yeah, it's 127. Okay, it just looks thicker than it actually is. All right. Meat and potatoes time. This is a good looking knife. It's a very classic, very standard profile. This is, and I know I mispronounced his name, right? I know there's like a better pronunciation for it. Grabarski, it's pretty toned down for him. I mean, a lot of his designs have been wild, and that's what makes him so interesting. But this is a much more, you know, EDC friendly. I think the word actually means companion, right? I didn't play Assassin's Creed, but I guess this is the same name as the eagle that he's got, or falcon, or whatever. I don't know what he's got, a pterodactyl. I never played it. And I played a lot of good games, right? I'm not going to say I'm a hardcore gamer, but you know, I know what the good games are. Never played Assassin's Creed. I'm sorry. It looks cool. I've never played it. This is a much more, you know, companion style EDC knife that's just very, very premium. The choke up position is good. Flipper tab is not too prominent. You can feel it, but it's not. I can see what he's doing here, right? He kept this area knocked down so the transitional zone was not like this big point. But choked up. The jimping complements the index finger position pretty well. Standard grip is also good. These edges feel like sudden drop-offs. They're not sharp, they're just abrupt, right? But realistically, when you're gripping it, the thing that I feel the most is the pocket clip, and it's not bad. There's a little bit of a zone right off the edge that's pretty much 90 degrees, but not bad. Nothing is bad. It feels good, and it also feels like it's conforming to your hand. I mean, it feels like it was made for your hand, which is good because it's a pocket knife. It should be made for your hand, right? The blade, hand rub satin finish is a nice touch. I think that's the way it is on all of them. I could be wrong, but it is at least on this guy. We have a little bit of a difference. Yeah, I think it's the same on the flat, right? Flat grind comes down to a medium thickness edge. I don't know how Bestech heat treats their S90V. Industry standard for S90V tends to be 59 to 61. Yes, it can go higher. Is it still amazing at 59 to 61? Absolutely. Not as stainless as M390, but still stainless. And in my opinion, it has the same toughness. I know charts don't always show this the same. In my opinion, S90V seems to have the same toughness as M390, and it also is just as, it's the same amount of effort to sharpen. It just always seems to last longer. This is why I prefer S90V over M390. I just think it's a superior steel. So yeah. Little fuller that runs down the length of the blade, no, almost the length of the blade, out to maybe like half an inch from the tip there. Looks good. Cutting bevel is even on both sides. Nothing on the blade except for a little tiny Bestech logo. I think they do a good job with that. And then Grabarski's logo right there. And then S90V. Not much there. Looking good. Love the way that he has his logo on the pivot. That is so cool. It just looks awesome, and it's only on his designs through, you know, if he makes custom knives, but it's only on his designs through Bestech. Inlay work looks good. Machining on the titanium looks good. Not a lazy effort here at all. I think that's great. Backspacer's pretty plain, but that's all right. Over on the pocket clip, that layer there you can see is actually just the carbon fiber as it extends through. But you can see that pocket clip sets a little bit below the scale. No hardware showing through the pocket clip because it threads, it goes through on this side and it threads into the pocket clip from underneath, so that's nice. No mounting position for lefties. This is a milled pocket clip that is specific to the curvatures and the lines on this knife, so no mounting position. It would have been nice to have an option, but I can kind of understand with this being designed, if you're going to do that, you have to make a left-hand specific version. The frame lock is partially covered by this overlay, which is kind of neat, and there is a steel lock bar insert that doubles as the overtravel stop. You can see it in there, so that's very cool. You have an internal stop pin right there, so it's riding on a channel carved out of the titanium on either side. Stops touching 2 positions, and it is also obviously the closed position stop, so we don't have to worry about anything contacting the blade near or on the plunge grind, which there's the plunge grind if you wanted to see it. Okay, lockout, completely and totally solid. No lock stick, no pivot lash, very smooth and consistent in here. Click, and are we centered? We sure are. Base price, the one with the Ultim inlay, $270. I'd skip that one unless you love Ultim. The one that makes the most sense to me is one of the middle of the road ones. $289 for shred carbon fiber, and then the S90V blade. I don't know if that one's hand rub satin finish, but we got contouring. We got a nice material laid into the titanium. We got some nice machining. We have a blade steel that I consider to be a step up from what we normally see. S90V, obviously that stuff's not cheap either, and especially if it's hand rub satin finish. I mean, it's a lot of things that I expect to see north of $250 and south of $300, right? There's a $50 range in it. It's a little foggy, but honestly, I feel like it's doing a lot of that stuff really well. This version that you're seeing here is it's north of $300. It definitely does have the satin finish. The only thing that it's got different, it's gold anno carbon fiber. I'm sorry, gold anno titanium, and then the gold flake carbon fiber, which will be worth it to some people, and I'm not super upset at that price tag either. On the other side, it is another frame lock. It is another titanium frame lock. If you like this knife, the reality of it is there are hundreds of knives. I mean, literally just on Blade HQ, which I'll have this linked at Blade HQ, just on Blade HQ, there are hundreds of knives that are right around the same price, right around the same aesthetic. I mean, if you're shopping and then this catches your eye, there's a million things you might like. But if you choose this, I don't think you chose badly. I think that this is a good design. It's a cool knife, and it definitely will work. I mean, especially if you like his designs, it's one that's much more EDC friendly. It's not incredibly attention-grabbing or special. It's definitely not anything new for 2026, but it's good. And generally speaking, it's recommendable. So that's going to be it. This will be given away on one of my future live streams. Usually in the summertime, I do live streams Friday evenings at 8:30 p.m. CDT. Sometimes they're Saturdays and Sundays. You can always check and see when my live stream is going to take place by going to my community tab, which I usually update on the day that I am doing the live stream. So if it's Friday and there's no update, it means that it's not going to happen on Friday. Usually. I can be a little tricky. But that's your best bet. So anyways, please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.